Yes, exactly. Okay, so we've just got like another minute and let some people join in, and then we'll kind of just start chatting. This is just going to be like super casual, just kind of talking to each other, having you guys get to know Lindsey, and just sort of talking a little bit about our experience with ASID, what we're looking forward to this year. Just super informal kind of chat.
Yeah. Nice. Nice conversation.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just give it a little bit more time.
Yeah, we're almost at 12.
I know, we got on early. You guys are early here joining the party.
I know. We were trying to be prepared, but you guys are prepared right there with us.
Yeah, we were trying to get on early, make sure we had everything set up right. But
yeah.
Okay, let me get everything good to go. All right, it's 12 o'clock. Should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alison Kapler. I'm from Washington, D.C. I went to undergrad in North Carolina at High Point University and studied communications there, and then worked in the wedding industry doing sales for wedding advertisements on a wedding website. And then really kind of found my true calling and knew I really wanted to get into interiors. So I ended up working at the Osborne and Little showroom at the Washington Design Center, where I really got my start in everything, met a bunch of designers, and ended up working for some residential designers in DC, and then also up here in Philly when I came up here to get my degree. So I worked here. I worked for Sapperstone Interiors and Mona Ross Berman, and then went to Black & Hayes Architects as an intern, and then back in the fall, started Urban Outfitters as an intern, and then now I'm a full-time store designer there. Ooh. So that's a little bit about me. I guess, Lindsey, do you want to kind of give some background on your
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Lindsey Bedford. I'm also a graduate student at Drexel, just like Allison, except I'm in my second year. So I'll be finishing up second year very soon, which is exciting. But before Drexel, I actually attended the University of Pittsburgh. I got a degree in English writing and history, which is very different from interior design. But yeah, and after that, I had a career for about 6.5 years managing web content for an e-commerce business, and they sold high-end watches and jewelry. And then, you know, fast forward to now, and then here I am, really loving life and enjoying learning about interior design, becoming a part of this amazing community and network of people we're a part of, and excited to do more with ASID.
Great. I mean, one thing I would love to kind of know more about you is what made you want to go back to school and kind of put yourself back through this whole education process to get your degree in design.
Sure. So I would say a point came in my career when I realized that what I was doing didn't really quite feel like me. I realized that I was growing, which was great, but I was growing in a direction that wasn't what I envisioned for myself.
Yeah.
I've always been like a very creative person, and I really wanted to do something where I could use those skills that I have, but also something that's like practical and can make an impact as well. So I went through a lot of soul searching, and actually, thankfully, I talked to one of my good friends from high school. She graduated from the program at Drexel as well. And just hearing about like the things she learned in school and her life as a designer and the things she cared about, it just sounded like so interesting. And I thought to myself, like, hey, I could do this, and I think I could do this well. So really, after talking to her, that's what gave me the push to look into it, and I applied to Drexel, and I'm so thankful and happy to be there now.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting, like what you said about soul searching. I know our program specifically is for people without interior design degrees for the most part, where you can kind of go and make a total career change if you want to. We have people in our program that were civil engineers, that were nurses, and you know, really know that design is their true calling. And I know I went through that too, and I felt like I was spending a lot of my free time, if not all of my free time, thinking about design.
Yes.
You know, researching different like furniture manufacturers and just very excited about it. And I knew I wanted a career where I was always going to be learning more. And it's definitely something that design kind of lets you do. And then getting your degree just really lets you have that extra level and extra step, and opens a lot of doors for you.
Definitely. It's exciting.
Yeah, totally. And I know you're in your second year, almost done. Do you have like a favorite class so far that you've taken?
Ooh, yeah, I do actually. So,
Hear it.
of course, like we've taken all the same studio classes. I actually really loved our Conceptual Studio. I know at first it was incredibly challenging. So challenging. I really thought, I was like, I'm never going to get this. I don't even know what I'm doing. But then a point came where something just like, it clicked. And once I started to understand thinking in that format, and also just really like taking my design and being able to push myself to the next level, the lessons I learned from that class, I try to incorporate with everything I do now, no matter what the project, whether it's commercial, you name it. I think there's a place for that there. What about you? Do you have a favorite?
I think my favorite would probably be our community studio. For anyone that's not a Drexel student, what that project entailed was everyone was assigned a country, and you were kind of instructed to research that country, their culture, the people there, and then build a refugee center using a building in University City for them. So my country was Yemen, and I honestly didn't know much about it. And then I did my research, and I really learned kind of what a beautiful culture it is. It's a beautiful city. It's just really having obviously some struggles right now. And I learned a lot about the women of Yemen and how 50% of women over the age of 15 there are illiterate. Many of them are like child brides, and a lot of their husbands right now are dying in the war. And so kind of all these women are really left to their own devices, with not a huge skill set or an education to really allow them to kind of prosper in another environment. So I know for my project, I really focused on an education wing for them, a retail component so that goods could be sold, and then also kind of figuring out the best way to design to bring these two cultures, our local Philadelphia, neighborhood, and the Yemeni culture together. And I think just kind of like going back to that, just the kind of impact that design can have. Actually, ASID's motto is "A design impacts lives." It really does. And I know Lindsey and I have talked about this before, and I've talked about it with some of my other friends that are designers, and how you don't really think about how every space you're in is designed by an interior designer. Everything, a hospital, a movie theater, and houses, of course. So I just think that's really interesting.
And it's like how you said, design impacts lives. And it's so key for us as designers to always think about the end user. It's not about us. It's like, we are here to try and make the world a better place for people to live in, and just to be well and happy and successful. And I think it's really great, especially the community studio definitely instilled in me. Design impacts lives.
Yeah, definitely. I guess kind of going off of that, what made you first hear about ASID and want to get more involved?
Sure. So I actually first heard about ASID from you. I remember the beginning of the first year, we had a meeting, all of the classes together. And I remember they were bringing up different organizations we can be part of, and just like ways we could get involved outside of school. And I know for me personally, I love to network. I love to expand my circle, and I make new friends. I like to do all of that stuff. So, seeing that there were these opportunities available with these organizations, I actually started seeing events pop up on like my Instagram or my Facebook. So I would start to go to things, for instance, Sips and Spaces. A great event that our local chapter holds. I love Sips and Spaces. That was like one of my first introductions to ASID. and I really enjoyed it. Of course, obviously, well, for those who don't know too much about Sips and Spaces, it's something our chapter does once a month, and they choose a different location each time. They're always unique, beautiful, chic spaces, and they use this as an opportunity for us to go and learn about the interior design that was implemented in these spaces, and also some nice drinks and snacks,
Yeah,
and an opportunity to network and
definitely.
get to know different people from ASID, but also other organizations or just professionals in the area. And I really started to enjoy, just broadening my circle. And that's
Yep.
really what started to get me out there.
Yeah, it is such a great event. I remember my first Sips and Spaces I went to was the World Creative Sips and Spaces at Louie in
Mm-hmm.
University City. And it's just, kind of getting to talk to the designers, how they come up with their ideas and their concepts, how they were implemented, if any challenges that they had come up, how did they deal with them?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also met a lot of people, made a lot of friends, and had a great time. And I think it also just kind of goes back to that importance of networking. I know you and I both feel very strongly about it.
Yes.
We always are doing portfolio work and studio work, but, it's also just as important to really kind of make connections with people in the industry as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. Because, of course, we have our community at Drexel, but there's a whole big design world out there. And especially in the Philadelphia area, we have a great community. It's very tight knit as well. And it's great to see a lot of the same faces at different events that you go to.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, especially as students, we're in a really unique position, like where people are so, excited for us and, wanting to help us. And there's so many events that are catered specifically for us to kind of launch our careers that ASID holds. We have Student Career Day, we have a fall student gathering. Those events consist of mock interviews and portfolio reviews and, which is not only a great way to network, but also a great way to kind of get some outside eyes on your work and some feedback. So I know that's been really great. I guess, is there anything in particular ASID wise that you're really looking forward to this year?
Yes, there definitely
What
is.
is it?
Well, first off, of course, I want to get back to Sips and Spaces.
Yes.
The last one I went to left such a lasting impression on me. It was actually hosted at Alimentari.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was with Cohere.
Yeah.
That was an incredible event. Not only were the interiors gorgeous and the food was amazing, it was so cool to meet like all these different ASID members and like get to know Antoinette from Cohere better. So I definitely want to do more of that. Looking forward to those in the future. But aside from those bigger events, I know one thing I'm really excited about is the Well Conference that's going to be held this August. It actually was supposed to be in April, but that was pushed back a bit, due to COVID-19. But that's okay because I still plan on going.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting because it's actually a partnership between ASID and the Well Building Institute. And not only is it a great time to meet people, take a little vacation.
Yeah.
But also for me personally, I know this summer I'm planning on working towards gaining my well and lead certifications.
Yeah.
So that would be a great way to finish out my summer, after these studies and like really digging into that, to be able to be part of that community and to learn a little bit more. So I'm definitely excited for that. I'm also excited for the IDA Awards.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's a fun one because I know I definitely submitted. Did you submit?
Yeah, I submitted.
Yes.
Now, Lindsay.
I know, it's okay. It's all friendly competition.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I would say those are three things and definitely are on my radar. And just as I mentioned, getting more involved and meeting more people and just really continuing to connect. I always care about connecting.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what you said about the summer kind of being a way to, get our certifications and kind of expand our education in that way. I know we're doing the Wondering About Well sort of panel discussion with Liz Kane next week. So I think that would definitely be a good one to tune into. She's going to kind of go over, the exam itself. She recently took it, and she's going to give study tips and resources and all of that. So I think that'll definitely be a good one. I know I want to start studying for my NCIQ, and ASID has a ton of resources for that as well. So I think, just kind of making the best. It's definitely like a weird time right now, but we're also kind of given this gift of having a ton of time on our hands, so might as well.
Yeah, and to use it wisely, and like how we've discussed in the past, times are a little different right now, and things are a little difficult, but that doesn't mean as students that there aren't still opportunities for us to continue to grow, to continue to learn different things. Great example, being part of organizations like ASID, so important right now, because maybe opportunities with internships or jobs might be a little different, but there's no reason that you can't continue to expand your network, and that helps you to put your feelers out, and maybe you'll learn about opportunities that were nowhere on your radar. So good stuff to do. Yeah,
that's definitely a really good thing to point out. I know we've been doing a lot of like happy hours virtually with ASID, and we're trying to do some more virtual events, and it's definitely a good way to join and kind of show your face and meet some new people. I know I've met new people in them recently. So I definitely can't agree more. I mean, I think that's pretty much it in terms of, introductions. I'm really excited for you. So for those who don't know, Lindsey will be officially inducted into our board in the fall at our annual meeting. And I will be stepping down because I will no longer be a student. And I know she's going to be such a great resource. She's super involved, and I'm super excited for you.
Yes, thanks, Allison. Thank you for passing on the torch and just like talking to me recently about like all the things you've done and how I can help out. And I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. That's my dog. All right, Lindsey. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, and I'm glad that we were able to do this. I'm excited for next week to kind of learn more about WELL and talk then.
Definitely. All right. Bye.
All right. I'll talk to you soon,
everybody.